Greetings. Okay. Thank you for joining us. The cats are busy in a meeting right now, so I'm not sure where they are actually. They're here somewhere. I guess it's their bedtime now. So go to the collider, HADRON, the collider, however you pronounce that. Again, black hole energy is connected to the black hole. I felt something open somewhere. It's like, it wasn't. Either way, it was something. So we're going to dive into that. Why not? And Sirius B stopping time. I don't know. This is kind of time travel energy. I came to that. Of course, the Hadron Collider, that was like in 2016, it had something to do with like a ritual that was going on there. Of course, they call it fake and this and that, but it probably wasn't fake. They're so full of shit. It's like, yeah, that's okay. We have Joe Biden to protect us from all the bad people. You know, I imagine the Collider created Joe Biden. Lucky us, son. Yeah, God help us all. So yeah, this was the eve of 4th of July. So yeah, it's just I just feel like a feline energy to get a point of view of the collider. I'll probably just move on from this because there's really not a whole lot more I can go into it. Really, not to worry about it. It's just doing its thing. It just the bad people are trying to control humanity. The reality, which are a pretty good job of, as it is. It's not easy to awaken, of course. Never is. So, yeah, black hole energies. Yeah, basically they open up a black hole just like a wormhole and just bring God knows what through that. And I believe our world is synchronized into that to a certain level. So one of these days we'll start seeing it. Well, we see it now through the politicians, the ones that are psychotic. You see the creature through them, Nancy Pelosi, Biden, and so on. You see how psycho they are, and then they call themselves professional. It's just like professional psychopaths. Is that what they call it? Yeah, they're elites in Washington. It's like we're supposed to take them seriously. You're right. Obviously, they run everything, quite a bit of it at least, not everything. Yeah, Washington D.C. is your elite headquarters. At least one of them. I guess they're powerful. I guess if they call evil powerful, whatever works for you. So more power to them on that one. So yeah, it's just gotta love it. I think some of the other politicians, yeah, they do control. Obviously, control the tech companies. You know, they can bring them in, question them about whatever. I mean, Washington care less most of the time anyway. I love it when they talk about the Constitution like they really care. Yeah, what version of the Constitution are they talking about? The one that they go by? It was like some kind of satanic version that they go by. Whatever you got. So, let's have a ton of comment private sessions scheduled. We have a shop here. I'm in the middle of, what was it, June. Same situation here. We have the webinar. We have social networking behind the scenes. And I already showed the collider already, but let's show it again. It's what the bad people use. So yeah, it looks nice and friendly, doesn't it? Yeah, there's nothing weird going on there. What could possibly go wrong? What's that? Yeah, so I guess it goes into this whoop. I don't know a whole lot about it actually. Yeah, I mean, I think they play it off like it's no big deal, all the conspiracies and all that, but it's not a good energy at all. Yeah, so say it's all great and wonderful, and it's not. Yeah, it's definitely to bring in timelines for sure. Block people from their chakras, their connections. The world's kind of a black hole planet as it is. To a certain, not fully, but you can say it's kind of like a reptilian technology, maybe even a Nordic Palladian energy, at least manipulative energies. There's always a good side to everything, but still has a, just blame the reptilians for everything. One of these days, those guys will show up. They'll show up at Washington, at the Met Ball or something like that. I mean, they kind of do. They're just in human form. The Kardashian energy is reptilian energy, just in human form, and so on and so on. And just, I don't know, I guess I have to wait and see where it starts to unravel. So, let's see, July 4th. We might still have a break where they're not going to mess with our timeline too much. It's hard to say. The 4th can be nothing, and it could be something. So they can kick off an event that day. Might as well, right? Got nothing better to do. And then that'll continue throughout the week. We'll just have to wait and see. I know they want to spring something on us. I don't know what it is yet. I guess we're about to find out. So it's not the end of the world or anything like that. They talk about food shortages. Food is still there. They thought market was going to crash. All of a sudden, it got quiet. So it's funny. As soon as the holiday is over, it's like, oh no, it's doom and gloom all over again. It's like, give me a freaking break. It's just a comedy. It's just a bad movie. That's all. So the Hollywood elites, the Washington elites. I mean, it affects them too. They're still players in all this, but either way. All right, we're going to the collider, black holes. I just said that. And Sirius B. Yeah, if anyone that says like the government is no big deal, it's like, you're right. Like CIA, they're involved with all this. They're just quiet about it all. That's all. That's what parasites do. They just hide in the background. So it's just a touchy subject. People don't want to bring it up, but it's true. The parasite is there. It's sitting there in the background listening and all that nonsense. So it doesn't have many friends. You can screw over their best friend, whatever it is. Yeah, so that's where all the backstabbing stuff is. I'm bad about it. Well, Washington itself is backstabbing, but the CIA has a lot of that. So they spy on each other. They're spies, right? So they spy on each other. Not constantly, but anyway. Not going to see that on the evening news, that's for sure. Parasites like to hide. So, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings to you. We are the Palladians. Greetings. There is, yes, a concern of technologies that have been used against humanity. Yes, the collider is not that powerful. The world is better off without it, but it is there to kind of keep things in check. At least there's a good side and there's a bad side. It was allowed to be built to see how far they would go with it, but it's not really as active as some might think. It does have activities, yes, but it's not as strong as people might be afraid of, because it can cause a lot of cataclysms here, weather anomalies, and all kinds of situations. And it has in the past, but now it's being diluted. But they're still going to use it, but it's nowhere near as powerful as it used to be. So it's like a backup. Yes, once again, an elitist backup plan to leave the planets. And there are several worlds that they're aware of, at least they'd like to get to. If they're not fully aware of it, like they'll put it into their mind where they want to go, and then use alien technology as the collider to take them where they want to go. Some do live in a fantasy. Not that will happen, because a lot of your elites are trapped here also. They wonder, people here wonder, you have everyday jobs. Like, why am I here? Well, those that are having a lot of power feel the same way. Because they feel like they're going to not have their power forever. They feel like it's only a limited time, and that is true. So the collider itself, it was allowed to be built for as an experiment, just like the atomic bomb. To see, it is a time traveling device. It does have a Mandela energy connected to it. It's a time traveling device. So there are positives with it too, but you can say why your world is connected to the 1970s currently, because when you see 1970s in the news headlines, that means first off they're bringing that energy in to just put you, you here see the gas prices. You have a president that's kind of disconnected from reality, probably worse than the 1970s actually, as some of you see. So they are trying to time travel back. That's because the vibrations can go quicker actually into the future, go more into six-dimensional thinking, and they want to keep the manipulations going. So it's like putting the cover over your planet, putting you backwards as long as they can to keep a muzzle on higher dimensional thinking. And people are tapping into higher dimensional thinking already, metaphysical connections. They might not be fully aware of it, but they are doing it automatically. They might not be talking about angels, aliens, spirit guides, or anything like that, but they are evolving. Those that wish to evolve. And once again, it's in their thinking. It's in the automatic thinking how they are. So obviously those that are controlling society are trying to keep as much fear as possible. So yes, they blanket your earth with 1970s propaganda because it worked before, but not completely. You can say it's kind of the end game to a certain level. It's not completely over, of course. But they're kind of running out of ideas of how to manipulate reality because they're going to use old technology. They actually have weapons that are set up for the 1970s, 1950s, 1920s to keep you shut down. So it's just, let me just say not to worry about those type of things, but they are using them currently, especially those that are not unaware. Some of you might feel like you're having to deal with attacks. And a lot of it's just the wheat system trying to put humanity backwards so it can continue. It's like, think like the tent is blowing away. The system is blowing out. It's not completely gone. Of course not. There's still many that are synchronized into it. So once again, when you have normal people start to think abnormally, more spiritually, just automatically, just because they don't want depression energy, they talk about their chakras and they don't even know what they're talking about. So it doesn't mean that they're aware of the spirit guide energies, but they are aware of those entities around them. And that's going to be part of more of your future Earth. So the collider and all of this, the stealth technologies, all alien energies, as humans are programmed not to look. As many of you are opening up your vibrations, you're pointing at all of these things. Some of you are, at least. High vibrations can only offer so much. Well, high vibrations is good, but it's not the answer to everything. For a world like this, you need to understand all levels of reality: the dark, the lights, the middle, everything. Just have some understanding of not everything. Just be grounded, because some that go to the high vibrations are way too positive. And that can really cause injury to one person, to a person actually. They're too positive. Of course, it can be too dark and it can do the same thing. So it's not the easiest process. And some do get sick by being too positive, actually. They can drive themselves insane. I think some of you have seen that. Of course, the dark, once again, could do a great deal. So yes, the middle area is what many of you are attempting to get to. It's not the easiest energy to tap into. When you get more to the middle ground of yourself, that's where some of this starts to make more sense. You're not afraid of the negative to show itself, or negative reptilian energies. They're no big deal anymore, especially in the sectoid beings. It's the dark can't hide anymore. And that's what you're doing. Yes, we're basically beings are shape shifting. People go on TV and shape shift to a reptilian or whatever it is that they are seeing. People coming and going out of nowhere. People appearing to you, and then they disappear. Just like that. So, and some of you have experienced that also. When it becomes more clear. And religions start to heal. A lot of religions want to heal themselves. They're just not Yes, they're looking for a big miracle, which could happen, but there's a lot of lost energies here, as you can see. The alien vibrations, well, that was done on purpose. Of yes, disconnecting from the Atlantean knowledge, and you see the Atlantean beings here currently that have been uh, during the basically losing their higher dimension, becoming going through amnesia. Atlantean, yeah, they're as they get programmed by the reptilian frequencies, even the Anunnaki. So they become more. They see anything with spirituality connected to it, they don't like it because they're programmed not to like it. So yeah, there's different. The Egyptians programmed a lot of their people to shut themselves down. You have the emperor, the pharaoh, and that was the one with a lot of the power. Everyone else, you're not allowed to have any power. So you're reversing that currently. That's when your royalty and your royal family eventually loses power, because Anunnaki is definitely connected to that. Obviously, yes. If they're walking around with a crown, wearing these strange costumes, that is so Anunnaki. Yes, there is other beings connected to it also. Anunnakis like to make a fool out of themselves. And then people enjoy it. They just like wearing these bizarre garbs. They just do. Yeah, they might look hilarious, but they take it very seriously. They have a lot of insecurities. But it is part of the evolution, at least on this world. So usually it's a reptilian walking around wearing all that, a crown and all that. Normally, yeah, shape-shifting being normally. You have that currently, but it's just not clear. So yes, once you have your queen walking around waving at people, and then she shapeshifts into a reptilian being, that's in your world. That's when you know things are really starting to wake up. They'll mostly probably catch it in the cameras when they're taking pictures of it. Some people might see it within their own energy. Some people are seeing it now. They might feel like they're seeing things. Greetings. We have the consciousness of a black hole. A black hole, yes, has a lot of alien technologies, where a lot of beings hide themselves, shadow beings, ships of all types. Basically, it's where a lot of the ideas are kept, especially so you're wondering like where the beings are causing difficulties for you. A lot of them do live in the black holes. They know what they're doing. It's like kind of like living in the sun. They can't handle the sun's energy, so they live in a black hole instead. And normally there are reptilian and insectoid beings. Insectoid beings love black holes. Your Earth is being programmed by these type of entities for various different reasons. Well, the humans also is here to see if they can survive it. They agreed upon it. All this could have been wiped out a long time ago. All this manipulation is going to be cleared out. But what the soul can understand about itself, how it can grow, it was like a necessity. It was like it's like finding gold. Yes, there's a lot of difficulties here, but it's also like lost knowledge is here on this planet. Extraterrestrial lost, and you're living it. You're just not aware of it. Yes, it comes through just the human experience. So you have it now within yourselves. Everybody does. It's just you're not aware of it because they're being shut down, so you can't access it. So it's like yes, you can say humans are kind of like working computers. You don't have to look at too deeply into that, but you are a library yourself. But you have all of these challenges here, as you know, so you can't really access yourself as you'd like to. Some of you are getting there, but you still have to survive. You have to do this. You have to do that. Relationship. Somebody's pulling you one way. You're being pulled in different directions. You can't just have a year to yourself. You can have your friends, but just a year without stress or forever without stress. That's when you start accessing everything that you have. You don't have to, you're not in survival mode anymore. You're into awakening mode. That's when you see all the beings that are here, and it'd be quite the sight. And they're all watching humanity. They're in amazement that you're even surviving all this. You're putting yourselves through all of this. And for what purpose? Well, it's not always going to make itself known as you're understanding all. It's not time for it yet. I realize maybe, but individually, it is time for some of you, yes. But most of the majority of society, obviously, once again, they're being tug of war. They're being pulled in all these different directions, and that's the contract also to live that type of lifestyle. And when your contract changes, when you can say, okay, now I have a moment of zen, now I can connect to myself. It might take a couple of years. It can take 5 years to really unlock all the programmings, everything, so you can relax. And need to connect more to your higher self, higher everything, and leave your body, and it becomes normal. There will be a time in your future where that will occur. You're working towards it. But right now, you're just unmasking those that are causing difficulties here. Now, they're not done with your world just yet. Some feel like it's all over. It's far from over. When it's over, society will be astral traveling every day. Some are way too hopeful for that just yet. They can't handle the stress. That's why. There's many reasons. Some just get very delusional, and that's another trick. Where you feel like things are going to get too positive when the world's not ready for that yet. It's understanding where the world is at too. Is the world ready to be completely positive? No. It's never going to be completely positive anyway. It'll have a more, yes, neutral middle ground, but being completely positive, a world like this does not become positive overnight. You know, because it can lose knowledge by doing that. So having a middle ground is what it's looking for. So it's just, I would just leave it at that. Blessings. Greetings to you. We are from Sirius B. Greetings to you. The Hadron Collider. We're not too worried about it. It is part of your growth, at least for some. Well, for all, but for some that are paying attention to it, it's not to be afraid of. It's basically a device, yes, could technically destroy the world, but it won't be doing that. It can turn your world into another version of Earth. It has caused Mandela energies here and there. South Africa is usually where South Africa is where a lot of these elites live, and that's why it's not a safe place to be. It's where they hide out, you could say. I mean, you can't access them. You can try. Yeah, sometimes they're out there where countries where a lot of these elites are hiding, but not all. Quite a few. Yes, a lot of them are in places that you would never think they'd be. And a lot of them are third world countries. Not all of them. There's a lot of them. But, for the black hole frequencies is a necessity once again. Yes, it's the growth of the universe. Is maybe the universe in the beginning did not know what it really was. So it's like a table of just anything goes. And then when aliens are being affected by it in a negative way, then they had to create some kind of rules not to be destroyed, to become stronger. That's why a lot of the cat beings were developed or brought. The cats were brought here just to heal the energies of the universe, and eventually they were attacked by those that came from other universes to cause difficulties. So the Arcturian basically came from another universe. Everything here came from another universe, like another evolution of it. It's like, yes, finding another island, finding a continent. It's like, and yes, you might get there and find other beings that have been here for a very long time. Some of them are insectoid beings. and they know this place pretty well. So you're just still making yourself at home. You're still understanding this universe. Obviously, you as humans are in the thick of it. Well, basically, you're in the middle of a war. You might not see it that way, but it is. And it's called life. For time traveling energies, some of you do have abilities to shift your dimensions. For you can feel a little bit more freer. So something might feel like it'll be a timeline in your future where you don't have to go through all the stress. You can connect more to yourself. It's not yet. Basically, understand your timeline to your contract here. Now, that's not the easiest thing. It is, of course, in your chakras. Of just where you are is where you need it, and you can probably see there's a light at the end of the tunnel, meaning less stress here, and knowing that you still have others to influence, change their lives for the positive, but also learn about yourself. A lot of you are just learning about yourselves, of course. Not the easiest one, but your galactic selves are going to start to unravel, especially the Palladian energies have caused. Some of them cause great difficulty, especially with looks, attractiveness have kind of gone to such a level of just where they create someone very attractive, but then they have it's like a weapon. And some of you run into that. Like a very attractive person, and they're horrible. There's a lot of that, yeah, done by design. So the military, reptilians have the military. But the Palladian beings that are not exactly friendly have the pretty people. Not all of them, but quite a few. Develop them for self-destruct. They get married. They cause difficulties. Not all of them are part of it. Some are mermaid people that just are nymphs and they're just along for the ride. And, they're not part of that manipulative energy, but they can get hit by it. Well, because they're programming humans to go after attractive people, and sometimes the attractive people are scorpion people. Because a lot of the attractive people are causing a lot of problems here. The Nordic beings are they work with the reptilians. Yes, you have it from all levels. The idea of what attractiveness is, you're being told what it is. Everybody's attractive in their own way. It's accepting beauty in all things, and your world's getting there. Not everyone finds everything attractive. That's fine. But there is beauty in everything, and that's what you're here to discover. And, you have the most attractive person in the world, but people think they're the ugliest people in the world because of how they are. So as Syrian beings, we've been through all this. We've been through attacks also. Just like what your world is, your world has more of it. Your world has ties to Orion. Well, a lot of these places, these star systems don't want you to become aware of them, the ones that cause you difficulties, but that's what you're here to do. First off, you heal your planet, which you're doing now. It's not the easiest. But then these other worlds become more, and especially Orion, becomes more known. The trickster energies coming from them. Basically, those that are part of that the hijacking of your world, they'll start, meaning those agents from Orion will start to expose themselves and not be aware of it. Meaning they'll just talk about, it's like they're so spoiled and arrogant, they're not realizing they're showing their true colors. So expect a lot of that. You already see that already, but you see it more. So that's another part of the awakening. Now, some of them have been telling you who they are for a long time: gatekeepers, manipulators. People still just like, oh, wow, that's nice. But still be pulled into the propaganda. But many of you are pulling away from that. We'll continue to do so.